Let's all stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next we have the approval of the agenda. Can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried, the agenda is approved. Next is our conflict of interest statement.
In accordance with the rules and procedures adopted by this board in section 153A-44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board, unless there is a conflict of interest or is determined by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter. No conflict, Mr. Chairman.
No conflict.
No conflict. No conflict, Brian X. Taylor.
No conflict. All right, next we have citizen comments.
Okay, citizens, those who have signed up to speak, when you're recognized, please approach the podium. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes maximum. The chair will cut off all speakers exceeding their allotted time. If you have any questions of the board, you will receive a response from this board or county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you during your allotted time. And pursuant to North Carolina law, this time is allotted on the agenda for public commentary on county business. This time is not an open forum to be publicly critical of the performance of any county commissioner or county employee, and the chair will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. Commissioners, I have 3 sign-up sheets. The first, Ms. Belinda Joyner.
Good evening.
I'm here today to represent our community. About a month or so ago, I got a call saying they were going to put a data center in Northampton County. And this person is not living anywhere near Northampton County, and I'm wondering, how do you know what we don't know if we live right there? So what I started doing was Googling data centers, and the information that I found is something that we don't want. And I want to stand here today, and I wanted to go on record saying, we do not want a data center. I'm gonna say it again. We do not want a data center. I wanted to go on record. This is not what we want. It's not what we need. I gave you a handout. I'm not gonna go through everything that's up here, because if you're doing your homework, you should know just as much as I do where this data center stuff is concerned. You know, Northampton County need a lot of things, but like I said, data center is not one of them. We had a lady from Rich Square to stand up and ask about an urgent care. We haven't heard a response from y'all. That's something to help people to not harm them, because the particulates and stuff that come from a data center is nothing but something to kill you. And we're not ready to die. We're gonna die sometime, but we want to die a natural death and not be poisoned by pollutants in our community. We need an economic developer that's gonna have the community's concerns and not big IA techs and all of this stuff. Like I said, it bring pollution. It doesn't bring any jobs. You might have a job when they're building it, but once they finish, you might have 2 people that would be in there running the AI. We don't want it again, and I'll say we don't need it. I thought about Ms. Taylor from social service, how she stood one night and talked about how they had to spend the night at social service because they had a young man that they had to get a placement for. And they had to fly all the way to Arizona to put him in placement. With all these vacant homes in Northampton County, it should be one that you all can buy and have for that purpose, hire some people to work there. I said again, we don't have a grocery store between Henrico and Jackson. There's a whole lot of things that we need, like I said, other than a data center. I'm asking for a moratorium on the data center. We don't want you all to wait like you did on the solar panels until they're up and running. We want one before it gets started.
Where are you hearing that there's a data center coming?
Where's that coming from?
I won't call no name, but Mr. Edwards, you didn't have a conversation with somebody at the planning board meeting about a data center?
The planning board meeting?
After the planning board meeting, you didn't have a conversation with somebody about a data center?
I did not go to the planning zone meeting. I'm a part of the economic development board.
Well, whichever meeting, I was told that you also had a conversation with somebody.
I had a conversation, but there's no whereabouts of a data center coming.
Well, anyway, if it ain't coming, we don't want it to come.
Well, no, what I'm just saying, your comments was you heard wings that there is a data center.
Oh,
coming.
yeah, somebody called
So the
me.
answer to your question is yes, I'm answering your question, but there is no data center supposed to be coming to Northampton County.
Well, I appreciate that, and we want you to we're gonna hold you for that.
Now, you
just
do
said we're
know
gonna hold you
there's,
at your word.
Edgecombe County.
We're not talking about Edgecombe County, we're not worried about Edgecombe County, we talking about Northampton County.
I wanted to answer your question, Ms. Joyner.
Go ahead.
The question was, at the meeting that I attended, it was that Edgecombe County has talked about bringing the data center, but there's no talk about Northampton bringing one.
Well, we appreciate that, and we want to hold y'all to your word. If you say it's
well,
not coming,
now, you do know there's a development up there on the interstate that is not ours.
Okay.
I don't know what they might try to bring. Do what?
on the interstate where,
I-90, that I-90, you see the sign on, what's it, 48?
don't the county own some property up there on
No,
95?
no, ma'am. That I-95 development that you see the sign for right there on the highway is not anything to do with the county. Now, it would have to go through zoning and things like
Is
that.
it gonna be in Northampton County? Whatever you're talking about, will it be in Northampton County?
That development is in Northampton County,
Well,
but I don't
and you
know.
all don't have any say-so or anything over
We
what
would
it
have
might be?
zoning authority and things like that, but what they might invite, we have no control of. Now, it has to meet zoning and requirements like that, but there's a development up there. If you go down 48, you'll see a sign. Have you been down that?
No, I
road?
haven't been down there, but I'll make it my business to go.
It's near the solar farms on 48 between Pleasant Hill and I-95. But there's a sign out there, there's a private development that owns a lot of that property around I-95. But
Okay.
what
Well-
they might be talking to people, I don't know.
I don't know either, but like I
We're
said, I got
not-
a phone call and then I had the privilege to go to Greensboro for a 2-day conference on on data centers. And I learned a lot there, and it's not something that we want here. So if you're saying you don't know anything about it, it ain't coming, everybody in this room is a witness. So I want to hold you to that.
Well, like I say, I can't say what they might not invite, but we haven't.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
talk
if
to
it's
anybody
in
about that.
Northampton County, and you all should have some say-so, you're the commissioners of Northampton County.
We have a certain
Mr.
amount
Phillips,
of
you're the
say-so.
county manager.
We do have a certain amount of say-so, but they can invite anything.
But
That
I
don't
mean,
mean
because
it'll
they
come.
invited, do you have to accept it?
No, we
Well,
don't.
that's what I'm saying. So in other words, we want to be represented.
Well,
We're taxpaying citizens, we pay y'all to be up there. We want to be represented, and we don't want anything that's any more harmful than Eden and all of these things. And they put them in black communities because they feel like we are dumping ground. We're tired, we're not going to be dumped on no more. Thank you.
Ms. Gwendolyn Futrell.
Good evening, Chairman,
good evening.
County Commissioners, and citizens. On behalf of the concerned citizens of Rich Square hosting the event Liberation Day for Northampton County, we, the Liberation Day Committee, would like to give you some updates on our planning. Our third annual event, it is planned for May 30th, 2026, from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, with the rain date of June 6th. We're starting a little earlier because we are hopefully to have our students involved. Starting with a freedom parade leading from Malcraft and Rich Square at 10 o'clock, preceding the Rich Square Crisis Center. Event starting at 11 o'clock. Our speaker, Mr. Arthur Grant Jr., will come again to remind us how we made it here and why we are proud of our liberation celebration. He's a researcher. We want him to continue coming to until all of Northampton County understand Liberation Day. You already know all about Liberation Day because you made it possible for Liberation Day. You made a holiday for Liberation Day. We thank y'all for that. We are planning a wall of hope for the missing among us. We want them to know and their families to know that we have not forgotten them and we still keep hope alive. We need your participation and your presence in the parade, and please encourage the citizens in your district and community to attend and get involved as you do during election time. This is a county event, and we want all of Northampton County and every town to be involved in what's going on. Our vendors and food trucks, well, we welcome them free of charge. Anyone that would like to participate in any way, you can contact any member of the Liberation Committee. We look forward to seeing you and the citizens in your town to this event. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Ms. Sylvia Vincent.
Good evening, Northampton County Commissioners and fellow county citizens that are here this evening. As I have been before you before, I go out every day and I see, and I call it that monster, fields that are saturated with the solar panels that have been placed on thousands of acres of land, the one that our county government, to include any other officials that allowed it to infiltrate our neighborhood, the Voltaire community, without any consideration for the people that live there. We have to live with it no matter what happens. I drive through other areas of the county, and what do I see? Solar fields. Those solar farms do not give jobs to our citizens. They bust their workers in or they come from other areas. I hope you have learned that misjudgments can be costly. Now, I have heard you have data centers in your conversations. Why? Do you think that they would be good for our citizens to live around? I have read, I have researched a lot of information about them, the bad and the good. So far, the bad outweighs the good for our county. Their jobs that would fit the demographics in this county would be very minimal. Lawn maintenance or custodians. They hire people with bachelor degrees. Not to mention the noise and the pollution they bring and the tremendous amount of land and water that will have to be consumed. Thousands of gallons of water on a daily basis. And Ms. Joyner have given you all a copy of a lot of research, and I think that you all should consider it. I know somebody's going to come around. They're going to try to encourage you. You have the space. You can put a data center here. Those people would not live in Northampton County, so you will not collect property taxes from them. They will travel here to work daily, and they will return to another place of residence. Do you want more stress upon us? Do we have to worry about the effects of data centers now that we have gone through solar panels? Please, send your economic developer back to the drawing board. Get something here that's going to benefit the people of Northampton County, not to bring to us what a data center would bring to us. No more solar panels, because you know what they would bring to us. We do not need it. Dr. Edwards, on a phone conversation, your words were, there will not be any data centers in Northampton County. We must trust that you meant that. So when a vote is asked for, we believe, because you're a man of your word, yours will be nay. We will hold you to that statement, Dr. Edwards. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next item is the Energy Saver NC presentation.
Good evening,
Good
Board
evening.
Chair Martin, fellow commissioners, and residents of Northampton County. My name is Jasmine Carter, and I serve as the STEAM Education Manager at the Center for Energy Education located in Roanoke Rapids. And this is my coworker, Christy Gibson, who serves as the Operations Manager at the Center for Energy Education. Our organization wants to help residents of Northampton County take advantage of programs that provide assistance for energy efficiency and electrification upgrades for eligible homeowners and renters. The program is called Energy Saver North Carolina, and it is already making a real difference in the lives of many residents across our region. The program began in January 2025, and in December 2025, the program was made available for the residents in Northampton. Several of your residents started applying before December, and at that time they were placed on a waiting list. So by now, some of them should have received emails and or telephone calls about the Energy Saver program. The Center for Energy Education is partnering with the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, also known as NCDEQ, to help residents understand and apply for these programs. Through this initiative, families have already received improvements such as new HVAC systems, electric ranges, refrigerators, washers and dryers, ductwork repairs, water heater replacements, air sealing and insulation in attics and under homes. These upgrades help improve comfort, safety, and overall energy efficiency. Our team is actively assisting residents with the application process. In Halifax County alone, the Center for Energy Education has helped over 800 residents apply. And our goal is to help just as many residents here in Northampton County. Tonight, we are asking for assistance from the county in identifying locations where we can meet with residents to explain the program and help them apply on the spot. We have visited many towns throughout Halifax County and are willing to do the same here in Northampton County. Qualified residents may receive up to $16,000 through the Homes program and up to $14,000 through the HERE program, depending on eligibility and household needs. To apply, residents will need a valid email address. Each applicant has to have their own email address. The last 12 months of their utility bill, that includes electric and gas, if applicable, and proof of income of all household members in the home 18 and over. We're also encouraging local contractors to become certified through NCDEQ so they can help complete this important work for our communities. Together, we can ensure that more families in our region have access to safe, energy efficient, and comfortable homes. Thank you for your time, support, and for helping us make a lasting impact in Northampton County through the Energy Saver NC program. You have any questions or anything?
Any board members have any questions?
My only question, a wonderful presentation. I think this is an excellent opportunity and resource for citizens. Is there an income cap? Like, is it a, that's one of the questions I have, so that citizens will know that amount, you know?
That's what I.
It is actually the main person that usually speaks, that comes to speak is not with us tonight. She's at another event. Shauna Brown.
Okay.
However, not sure what the median income is of Northampton County, but I know in order to get like 100% of these funds, you can make no more than 150% of that median income.
Halifax County is.
What, 41,000?
Okay, all right.
One person. It
Okay.
goes up from there. And
Gotcha.
it's about the same, the one we look, but I don't want to quote a wrong number.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I could also give you their web address
Okay,
if you want to, because the information about income and all of that is on their
Gotcha.
website.
okay. Sounds good.
You want me to give that to you?
You can give it to me now, or you sure? Or you can
Okay,
take your-
in case
or-
anybody else wants it to, it's
Yeah.
Energy
Yes, exactly.
Saver NC.org.
Okay.
Energy Saver.
Energy Saver, NC, as in North Carolina, .org.
Do you know if Miss Brown is available to come out and speak to like senior citizen groups?
Oh, that's what, yeah, the three of us do that,
Okay.
together.
Okay, so you would be available to come to certain groups?
Awesome.
I do want to say you guys did a wonderful job explaining the information. I've been a long time colleague of Ms. Brown, so she'd be proud of how you guys presented on tonight. But definitely from, my standpoint, anything that we can do to support hosting events where citizens can sign on the spot, I'm pretty sure, my fellow commissioners feel the same because this is an awesome opportunity for our citizens.
And I can personally attest to the savings you get with these energy efficient systems. Had to replace mine about 4 or 5 years ago, and they put in one of these new systems, and they always tell you, oh, it'll pay for itself in the savings. And you're like, yeah, right. Well, I just looked it up because my wife sent it to me at the end of last month. With all the cold weather, my electric bill last month was $270. And I got a 2-story house. Those new systems really are energy efficient.
They really are.
If you've got good insulation and everything and an energy efficient system, people
Because
would,
these programs, it checks all of that.
yeah.
Yep.
Insulation and everything under your
Yeah.
house and your ceilings,
Mhm.
ductwork.
Yes. Mhm.
I'm gonna leave one in my car just because I had it in my
Okay.
pocket. And it's the number, I keep one in my pocket. It's the number to the center. Can I just hand it to you?
What are the next steps if we have residents that want to apply? What are the next steps?
Well, if you all contact, like Shauna will usually meet with some of you all or talk to you all to see about where and when would be a
So if we
good
can-
time for us to come out and talk to the residents. And I mean, you all, Northampton County is, right next door to us, so it's not like we have really far to travel. So, and if they want to, citizens could also come to the center and we help put in applications there as well.
So we just need to give you locations and times and you'll
Yep.
come.
I think
All right.
somebody had given us a suggestion of the wellness center.
Yeah, that would be,
Okay.
Okay, I had heard that. I had an email thread.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Have y'all been in contact with the mayors of the towns? Because, generally speaking, when you look at a good place to meet right in the towns would be a great location. Sure. Yeah, like Gaston, Gettysburg, and come down Seaboard, Jackson. Rich Square, yes. All the townships, it'd be a great spot. Lake Gaston, of course. I was gonna say, LGC. When you get the name, and I know, with all the towns, let me say that, all the townships would be a great meeting spot. Great, we'll reach out.
Any questions, y'all call the center and just ask for an energy saver person.
Yep, Shauna, Jasmine, or Christy.
That's great.
We'll be glad to help y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great information.
all right. The next item is the opioid strategy. Doctor, okay.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
You have in your packet the amended resolution and the email that shows the changes up here. This is- I haven't back- The changes that were added or deleted, so it added the required SAAF2 language. SAAF stands for Supplemental Agreement for Additional Funds for the additional settlements. That was some required language that the OSTAT team recommended that we put in there. We removed the early intervention strategy as an initiative and split the money within the initiatives across the remaining strategies. Under strategy 1, the strategic planning removed individuals and county agencies language under provider, and instead we just listed Northampton County as just a general as the provider. Under strategy 2, we specified the community payer medicine program under emergency medical services because it was not listed out fully as that. Under strategy 4, we added some additional language of our syringe the syringe service program to include support syringe service programs operated by any governmental or non-governmental organization authorized by Section 90-113.27 of the North Carolina General Statutes that provide syringes, naloxone, or other harm reduction supplies, that dispose of used syringes, that connect clients to prevention, treatment, recovery support, behavioral health care, primary health care, or other services or supports they need, or that provide any of these services or supports. That language came directly from the OSTAT team that they sent to us to put in there. And then we also added the amended date, which will need to be, I think it was yesterday's meeting or Monday's, so we will need to change it to Wednesday's, today's meeting. So those are the changes that are in the new resolution.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Vick? If not, can I get a motion to approve this resolution?
Chair Martin, I make a motion that we approve the resolution as presented.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Not all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Broadnax Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the memorandum of understanding for the Halifax and Northampton County Reentry Council.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Commissioners, you have in your packet the memorandum of understanding between Halifax and Northampton County. This, if you can recall, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was November, December timeframe, the board approved for Northampton County to become the fiscal agent for the Reentry Council, replacing CADA. So the next step was to actually put into effect the memorandum of understanding, which basically delineates the responsibility of the council and of the fiscal agent. You'll see in here, the fiscal agent is sometimes referred to as the intermediary, the IA, intermediary agency. We did make a minor change to the original document, and basically that change, there was two things. We wanted to make the language plain so that there was no confusion that the employees are not the employees of the county, but the employees of the council. And then we also added in the county's indemnification clause into this document. So those are the only two changes. Everything else is pretty standard as set forth as far as the responsibilities between the two.
In addition, I'm sorry, Mr. Phillips, we included with this version, insurance. That gets into the indemnification issue, but insurance requirements required of the council to protect the county's interests.
And just to refresh everyone's memory, this is all funded by a grant. We just are the
That's correct.
administrator of it because they have to have someone to administer it.
That's correct. We'll do it like any other grant. We'll set up a budget for that grant. It'll be in our ordinance, and basically the grant that comes from the Department of Adult Corrections, what we'll have to do is we spend the money, we pay all the vendors, and then we draw down the funds that are available. We're expecting to get some news pretty soon as far as the funding. I believe Northampton County, Halifax Northampton Reentry Council was one that is slated to be approved for funding. There were many more, but because of the efforts of the Reentry Council, the governor and the governor's wife really is pushing for our reentry because of the success in such a short period of time. So we're expecting to get funding from the state, and then the council is also going after private funding as well to become self-sufficient.
Dr. Phillips, how are they doing? I mean, I haven't heard anything from Dr. Perry or them since they were
We're still
kind of
meeting.
courting us.
We're still meeting as a council.
Mm-hmm.
They still have the housing that's still going. I believe they have 4 to 6 individuals that are still in housing, so they have enough funds to maintain that. But right now, we're just waiting for the big grant money to come. And there's some other grants out there that I can't talk about right now, but it very promising. But they need to get that grant money in order for us to get this rolling. And this is all part of just establishing. It's kind of like with the new market tax credit. You have to establish the business foundation so that when the grant money comes in, we're ready to operate.
Mhm. I thought he would be here with us tonight.
Excuse me?
I thought they would be here with us tonight, no?
I did invite him. I told him it was optional for him to come if he wanted to, but
Any other questions?
So, Mr. Phillips, by approving this tonight, until the grant money comes in, how would it be funded? If this gets
it will
approved?
not be funded. And
Okay, that's
this is all,
contingent?
yeah.
Okay,
So we're doing this to establish this,
clear.
but nothing happens without any grant money.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry to interject. Do we have to have this in place in order for them to qualify for the grant funding? That was
Yes.
my understanding.
Yes.
That was my understanding originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good on your package. When you go to your donors, you say that you do have someone who's responsible enough to manage the funds.
Any other questions, board? If not, could I get a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding?
Just the 33,000, but this is just to approve the memorandum tonight, correct?
Right.
Right, the 33,000 would be our fee that we will retain,
Clear?
basically hire someone to make the
Understood.
payments.
Understood.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, I move.
Any other discussion?
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Barnax Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. All right, next is the CBRE assignment. appraisal.
CBRE assignment.
Yeah.
This document is for the appraisal agreement for the new high school under the new market tax credit. It's for an as-is appraisal and a final appraisal when the school is completed. This is part of the documentary requirements under the new market tax credit process. Scott, you can add anything that I may have left.
And just to remind the board of a little background, again, the new market tax credit program, this is the additional funding mechanism that the Board of Education and the county has received it is anticipated to be an additional $6 million.
$6 million.
Or so of free money essentially to help fund the gap for the new high school construction. And along with this appraisal and the next several matters coming up, these are initial preliminary items that have to get going to the appraisal and what's coming next to get this new market tax credit funding closed. Along with this appraisal is an initial $3,000 deposit that has to be approved, that we are requesting be approved by this board that will be reimbursed to the county when the closing occurs. It's now projected to be May-ish.
Sometime in May.
May. So along with, there were a few other initial deposits made in prior meetings of the board, which will also, this is all being tracked, it will be reimbursed to the county. And my final point of background and projecting out for the board and for the public, for those who have interest in this project and the big scope of how it works and how it's structured, both this board and the Board of Education have scheduled a joint meeting for next Monday, the 23rd, I believe, starting at 5:30. It will be held at the Board of Education Administrative Building. It's certainly open to the public. The experts on this program will be there to explain the process to both boards. And the overall primary approval documents and resolution by this board will be approved at the board's next meeting on April the 6th. But the experts on this tax program want to explain all of this to the board and the Board of Education next Monday. So again, these documents coming tonight are apparent. We've been told they can't wait. We need to get the appraisal done and the other matters coming up. So happy to answer any other questions.
Does anyone have any other questions? Not, can I get a motion to approve this appraisal agreement?
Make a motion that we approve the appraisal agreement.
Do we have a second?
No, second.
Any other discussion? Not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, now we have the proposal for the Phase 1 environmental site assessment.
All right, I'm presenting this, Commissioners, this is at tab 10. Along with the same background that I just presented, there's a Phase 1 environmental site assessment and study that is required for the new market tax credit program. That is with S&M E Inc. And again, time is of the essence. There is no upfront retainer required for this, but it just needs the blessing of this board. And along with that, I'll go ahead and present the other two. This is at the end of your package behind the yellow sheet. There are two CPA agreements with Novogradac and Company. And these are engagements for agreed upon CPA services that are required for the new market tax credit transaction. Again, preliminary agreements to get the work going toward closing, so we can close this in May. With both of these, the Novogradac approvals, again, no additional monies required. Everything is being paid at closing at no cost to the county. And my recommendation, unless there are questions, the recommendation by me and primary counsel and Raleigh, who will be at the joint meeting next Monday, is that the board please approve these.
Does anyone have any questions for the attorney?
Attorney, they have to be approved by the meeting or now, or?
The recommendation is that we approve them tonight. And they've all been vetted by many layers of legal review with our attorneys in Raleigh. And again, the primary push is for what the appraisal that was just approved and the environmental assessment, the Phase 1, because these have to get turned around The reports have to be reviewed and approved before we can close the deal. So I'm just relaying what I was told.
Could I get a motion to approve the environmental study and the CPA agreements that were presented?
I make a motion we approve the environmental study and the CPA's agreement.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Broad Axe Taylor.
Aye. All right, motion is carried. Thank you. Next is the election systems and software.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
In your package, you should have a copy of the cover sheet for the contract, as well as an unsigned copy of the contract. A quick update or reminder, we had some software mandatory upgrades that started or initiated in 2025. Of course, a lot of it was supported by the state. The rest of it was on the responsibility of the counties. This is the contract to cover our software, our licenses, and our maintenance for the July 1st, 2025 through January 30th, 2026 year. And yes, we are 3/4 of the way through this, through that year.
This money for this, I assume, was budgeted.
Actually, it was not budgeted.
Okay.
Which in the county attorney and, excuse me, county manager and finance were made aware of it. But because we are not having a second primary, we will not be requesting any additional funds from the commissioners. We'll
Okay.
just be requesting to have some money moved around in our budget itself.
Okay. Internally. Okay. Okay. So we're just shuffling. We're not getting any extra. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? All right, can I get approval of this request for the election software?
Make a motion that we approve the request for the election systems upgrades and software.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Broad Axe Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Solar ordinance update.
Yes, commissioners and public, in response to my several requests, yesterday I received the following email from Attorney Brian Bryce, who is the principal lawyer retained by the county to review the county's solar farm ordinance. Scott, we are working to finish our review of possible legal challenges to the solar energy development ordinance and their potential strength, as well as determine if there are parties such as industries, individuals, or public interest groups who may challenge it or be willing to represent Northampton County citizens or businesses who may have issue with the ordinance. I hope our time working on this will be in the 15 to 25-hour range. We are reviewing several federal cases, one in particular regarding a large verdict against the local municipality that we've previously discussed. We are trying to further track as to appellate issues. I followed up with Mr. Bryce requesting a firm timeline on the completion of his work. I have not received a response to date. I am happy to follow up and I'm certainly willing to follow the board's instructions going forward. But that is my update.
Thank you. Anyone got any questions for the attorney?
Well, no questions, just, I mean, we appreciate the update, Attorney McKellar, but it's just, I guess, the delay is a concern, because I know the citizens have been, waiting.
I can assure you, Dr. Whitaker, I have voiced the frustrations of this board and the citizens. And have conveyed that this should be utmost importance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that update. All right, now we have Finance Department.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
The first item I have is Budget Amendment number 8. The first item is for the Sheriff's Department. We received $3,123 in insurance proceeds for a damaged vehicle. And the other item is for, we are at the bottom of this budget amendment. You can see they're both located under the expenditure side. We are moving funds from contingency for safety for the towns, for the town of Conway. This was approved at the last meeting on March 6th. And that amount is $33,974.
Anyone have any questions? If not, could I get a motion to approve this budget amendment?
Motion to approve the budget amendment as presented by our financial director.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Bardax Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Budget amendment is approved.
Thank you.
Now, the financial report.
The next item I have is the January 2026 monthly financial report. And we, Corey and I, the IT director, have tried, we've put it on a PowerPoint, hopefully, so that the citizens can see a little better on the screen. Okay, if we're gonna look at page 2, which is still very small, we'll work on making some changes to this so it's easier to read for those that are sitting in the audience. For Exhibit 1, this is our revenues. Right now, our revenues are at 72%, which is 2% higher than last year at this time. Exhibit 2 is our collected taxes as of January 31st. To date, we have collected 24.6 million. That 24.6 million is comprised of 21.8 million in current year collections and 2.7 million in prior year collections. Since December, from December to January, we have increased our tax collections by 5 million. Page 4, Exhibit 3, these are our expenditures on the department level. In January, we expect our expenditures to be 58%, around 58% or lower. We typically don't want to see those expenses higher than that figure. So just to give a couple of outliers, our court facilities right now are at 110%, and that is because our court facilities, our court software was a little higher than we budgeted for. It was higher than the previous year. So we will be doing an internal budget amendment to correct that and get it at 100%. Also, code enforcement, which is closer to the bottom of the page, is at 64.7%. Our code enforcement director's salary, it is divvied out between our planning department and also our code enforcement department, and all of his salary was coming out of one budget. So we have journal entry that, and you'll see in the next coming months reports that those percentages are going to go down. Also too, I report on this every month. You'll see our contributions. Most of those are expended at 100% because we pay those up front to our outside agencies. Overall, our expenditures are at 50.4% of our budgeted numbers, which is considerably lower than the 58 expected. That is a 3% decrease as of last year at this time, which is approximately 1.5 million less in expenditures than it was last year at this time. Moving on to Exhibit 4. This is our enterprise funds. Currently, our revenues are over our expenditures by 204,000. And expenditures are still under that 58% at 52%. Our Exhibit 5 is our Garysburg Water and Sewer District. This is the fund that we said we are closely monitoring because of the meter issues. We did see an 8% increase since last month, so we are slowly seeing an uptick. We had about 64,000 in additional revenue from December to January. So we are slowly seeing that number climb. Right now, it's not where we want it to be. As you can see, last year, our revenues were at 65%, and currently they're 34%. So we want to see those numbers rise in the coming months. Exhibit 6 is our solid waste fund. Our revenues are currently over expenditures by 712,000. Expenditures are at 52%, which is still under that 58 expected percentage. This is our outstanding long-term debt schedule. This does not change. It's the same every month. Exhibit 8A is our operating cash balances. Our operating cash balance is at $14,168,432. That is an increase from the prior month by approximately $1.8 million. And Exhibit 8B is our North Carolina Capital Management Trust investment account. That is currently at $30.2 million, which is up about $467,000 as compared to last month. And that is all I have. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
No question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Well, we are down to county manager and board comments.
Good evening again, everyone. I had the pleasure to attend the District 7 County Managers meeting this morning in Greenville. We try to go to different sites every other month. One of the topics was EDC, and guess what came up? Data centers. Every one of the counties had the same issues with data centers. Every one of the counties, Edgecombe was there. Edgecombe, you all know, they have a data center that's coming in. They thought it was going to be great, and they didn't have any pushback at the beginning, but then the tides turned. And there's a lot that goes into it. Like you said, there's a lot of education that needs to be done. Every county said the same thing, and everyone is trying to get ahead. If you don't have an ordinance, they're trying to put an ordinance in place and not wait. So I think that's where we're at. Also, we're trying to get ahead, and we're doing the research and the studying and trying to get our ordinance together so that we can present it to the board. So that's all I know. I can vouch that we don't have anyone that's knocking on our door saying we want to come in at this point. Not to my knowledge. I'm only answering because yeah, okay. But it was interesting that was one of the topics that came up this morning. I just want to remind the board that we will have the budget message on our first meeting in April. So I expect that I'll have that ready for you all for our first review. And again, that's just the intro to the budget season. And then thereafter, we will have workshops that we will get together and go into some of the details as much as you all want. And I'm going to be flexible this year. You know, if you have something that you would like to see that we didn't show before, or more information in a certain area, you know, I'm open to whatever you all need to increase our transparency between the board and citizens. That's our goal: educate, so reduce the confusion. That's the goal. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
All right, I'll begin on my left with Ms. Commissioner Broadnex Taylor.
I'd like to thank the citizens for coming out tonight. Had the opportunity to attend the Department of Social Services today as they celebrated Social Workers Month, and that was wonderful. Had the opportunity to celebrate with all their social workers with cake and ice cream, and that was wonderful. Also would like to send a shout out to Miss Spinoza Clemens over to her Board of Elections. She did a fabulous job during the election. She trained her people at her polls very well. I had a situation come up in Seaboard. I was trying to vote. Not only trying to vote, I was on the ballot. And I had a problem. And because of the training that she provided to her staff, they were able to help me. And they were on the money. And that was because of the fine training that she gave her staff. And I'd like to thank you and heard good things about you throughout this county and throughout the election. So I want to give you a shout out. What else is going on? Got a lot of other things going on, and also would like to recognize the senior citizen group that came in tonight from Gaston to show that they did not want data centers. So thank you for coming to show your show how you feel about not wanting data centers. Thank you for taking that ride down, because gas is not cheap. So thank you for being with us. That's all I have for tonight, and be safe on your way home.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Commissioner Whitaker.
All right, I'd like to say good evening to everyone, and thank you to all of the citizens that have come out on tonight to share your concerns and also to share different events that are going on across the county, so that we can continue to support. On March the 3rd, I had an opportunity to participate in Read Across America at Central Elementary. I had a wonderful time partaking in that event. Very refreshing being a former elementary teacher, so I really enjoyed attending that event, and look forward to doing even more with our schools within Northampton County. I do want to share as well that we are hopeful that Liberation Day will be a success. The committee has done a lot of good initial work, and we are excited about including all of the townships and just everyone coming out and having a really great event. And also to Ms. Futrell's point, of us highlighting our missing and having that walk of hope. And so we're very much excited about that, and having families to be able to share about their loved ones. So we continue to bring awareness and attention to this platform. So I do want to give honor and recognition to the concerned citizens of Rich Square. Thank you all for coming out. Also the Liberation Day committee members that I see present, as well as the senior citizens and the citizens that have come forth to express their discontent in regards to the data centers. I appreciate the phone call conversation so that we can continue to have open dialogue, so we can continue to hear your thoughts, your concerns, and be able to advocate for you at this table. So again, I hope everyone have a safe and wonderful evening. Thank you.
Commissioner Keith Edwards?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And I do agree with the thought, let's get as much information as we can get. And thank you to our staff, thank you to the manager, everybody that's willing to, get us what we need to make the right decision. Because we are here to help our communities and all of Northampton. So to make it a better place. So thank you for the information, and thank you all for bringing information.
Absolutely.
And have a safe trip home.
And I want to jump in real quick. Yesterday, had an opportunity to participate in our policy committee meeting for the HR, and so the team did a wonderful job. I just want to give a huge shout out because I believe in giving credit to what credit is due. Because anytime you are working through policy, that is intense work, and so I had a wonderful opportunity participating in that, and I want to give a shout out to the team. I didn't want to leave that out because I had an opportunity to participate with you all in that, and I just want to say job well done, and looking forward to continue to do more work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening and sharing, and especially, it's just like Mr. Phillips said, Chairman Martin and I had the opportunity to attend the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners meeting that was held for District 7 and all commissioners at Halifax Community College. And the big topic was data centers. And we certainly appreciate you all bringing this information this evening. Tethering, as presented by Peter, is a big topic in Northampton County as well. Been having some Zoom meetings along with others as we look at what we're going to do with tethering. Had opportunity to attend the Lions Club meeting in Lake Gaston on the Weed Council that was held at the Lions Club, and had opportunity to attend Read Across America for Dr. Seuss Day. Thank you all for coming out, and we appreciate you, and have a good evening.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight also, and as Vice Chairman said at the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners District meeting, one of the things they asked was for us to present 3 things our area needed, 3 things we had accomplished, et cetera. Well,
Yes.
all the counties in our district basically have the same needs. When it came to be my turn, they did it in alphabetical order, so Northampton was next to last. And I was like, well, I'm just going to say ditto. But one of the things they also asked, what could that association do to help us? And one thing I said was, could you provide us information when we have controversial subjects like data centers and solar farms come up?
Right.
Because you got a lot of citizens that are uneducated on the matter. Some of us are uneducated on the matter, and the chairman from Edgecombe County was sitting right in my line of sight. She was nodding her head like, yes. But that is one thing I would like for that association to be able to do, to help us with educational information, because there's a lot of misinformation on both sides, pro and con, on any time you have a subject that comes up, and you want to try to get what is the real information. So I asked if they could do something like that for us. I also like to say my wife participated in the Read Across America, and one of my classmates from high school I saw came back. He lives in Winterville now, but he came back here to participate. So I thought that was a good program, and I'm glad to see all the good participation in it. And I'd like to tell everybody to have a safe trip home tonight, and we will now need to go into closed session.
Mr. Chairman, I move to go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A6 personnel, and North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A3 attorney-client privilege.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion is carried. Oh, one other thing about the data centers, if anyone would like to see one for themselves, they have some in La Crosse, Virginia, South Hill, Virginia, and Boydton, Virginia. Yeah.
I've seen it, but I don't think we should recommend.